that weekend unbearable world. Now our base and botched as can be. And a knight with his banners all bravely unfurled now hurls down his gauntlet too.
I guess since you're on your own now, I don't have a reason to keep up these journals. You're old enough now to remember what happens in your life. This is bittersweet for me. To quit writing and hand these over to you is a growing pain for me. I'm not sure you really ever needed me much. You have always been so very independent. I really think you were born that way. As a mom, that's a blessing and a curse. It always made me feel good about how you would handle life. I knew you'd be able to achieve anything you wanted to do. You're a hard worker and very resourceful. But it also meant I never really knew how to be your mom. I have loved you so much your whole entire life, but I've never really known what Sam Miller needed in a mom. I tried my best. I really, really tried. It might offend you. I'm sure I have at times, but I've cried many hard cries, trying to do right by you. Time has passed and you're a grown man. I just so desperately want you to know how much I do and always have loved you. Maybe someday, if you ever want to have a chat, we can discuss life as adults. You can get to know your mom. I'll be the first one to admit I was not a perfect mom. I learned pretty quickly that I would never be able to be the perfect mom I wish you could have. I admit I could be harsh and critical. I wish I could have spent every day of your childhood just cheering you on and giving you hugs. Maybe you recall that around age 6, you told me frankly you didn't want to hold hands. You didn't really want physical affection. You came into our life at a very, very hard time. You were 100% wanted, but Dad and I ended up going through a very painful situation. Someday we can talk about it. I was pretty depressed when you were born. Dad and I were struggling, and you came very, very early, and you and I almost died. That was all very scary and hard for me to handle. You were so tiny, I literally worked around the clock, setting my timer to every 2 hours to keep you fed and growing. I was so scared of you almost dying that it was very hard for me to believe you were living. So much was happening at that time that I wonder if I gave you everything you needed. Physically, you and I were constantly attached. But emotionally, I wonder if I was hurting too much to be a good mom. I loved watching you grow up. You've always been a cool kid. I think God made you creative and independent to survive my mothering. It's also no secret that I was having a very hard time in the church. I'm sure that affected my parenting. I was probably more critical and legalistic than I needed to be. Dad and I were constantly being judged in every area of our life. It definitely made me self-conscious as a mother. I regret any parenting I ever did in order to please another person. One of the biggest reasons we were able to leave the church was because of you. If you're not aware, it was my idea to leave the network. It took Dad a few years to catch up with my thinking. What happened was, when you were around junior high, you were a leader and a good kid. I could see some of the leaders in the church wanting to start grooming you as maybe a pastor or something. Eventually, I said, hell no. They are not taking my son. I was okay to survive it if I had to. But once I saw that my son might get caught in the network machine, I put my foot down. I couldn't live with myself if you had gotten scooped up by them. And so that put me on a warrior path to get me and my kids out of that hideous network. I wanted you to create your own life and not get brainwashed. Seeing my kids get out of the network is one of my very proudest mothering moments. So here we are, You finished a year of college that you funded all by yourself. I'm so proud of you, and I'm proud of you for having a wise and thoughtful opinion about maybe not returning. You're a smart boy. I know you'll do whatever is right for you. You may not believe it, but it really does pain me not to be able to help out. We just can't afford it, but Dad and I both know you couldn't be proud of your own accomplishments as a man if you didn't do this yourself. Dad and I are both so proud of you. I really hated seeing how much weight you lost. It really hurts my heart. Please call me anytime I can send you some groceries. It makes me want to help you. I want you to be at peace in this life. I'm sure you have some negative thoughts about me. I've probably heard that. I want you to know that I welcome any conversation or communication you want with me. Dad and I both had times as adults before our parents named behavior that pissed us off and hurt us. I very much welcome anything you'd like to tell me. Even if it hurts, all I care about is a long-term, loving relationship with my son that I love with all my heart and never really knew if he knew that. I'm sure I sent messages that my love was conditional. If so, I deeply apologize. But please know that today I'm a very different person than I grew up with. I loved you with all my heart then, just as I do now. And that's never changed. But I've matured, and I escaped the prison that set me free to see what life is really like. I've changed a lot. I think you'd like me if you wanted to get to know me. Live your life the way you want. I want to have as much of a relationship with you as you want, but I won't pester you. I love you so much. I love you just the way you are. I really hope you know and believe that.
Hi, Mom. All right. Look, you're getting too close. I'm seeing. That's